Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul.
Well, my mother has always been sort of very interesting to hang out with. And I viewed her with increasing complexity as I grew older.
I could never really let go of my own feelings. I think now I'm breaking down. My name is Anita Boyko Fox. I was born in Vienna on September 26, 1924.
This is our New York City of today. This is comparable to Paris. This is where you want to go.
The Jewish community was so interwoven with the non-Jewish community, in spite of the fact that anti-Semitism was a very clear and distinct feature of that community.
It's a downward spiral from repression to intolerance, to bigotry, to persecution, and ultimately to genocide, which is what the Nazi onslaught was.
My father was an artist.
Hitler was an aspiring artist himself, but he was rejected from the premier art academy in Vienna. Fred Boyko was one of the many Jewish artists who made it into the academy because clearly he was a better artist than Hitler was.
And my grandpa just could not understand how an intelligent man who was able to function in society, who married his daughter, could actually only be mostly interested in art. The irony of it all was that it was my father who saved all of us.
There were artists like Fred Boyko to think relatively early on, we need to get out of here.
This place closed the door and said, we don't want you anymore. You don't belong here. Don't come back. Leave now.
We had been thrown out of our apartment before when Hitler marched into Austria, and nobody knew where we had disappeared to, which was very fortunate for us.
The answers are not clear. Where to go, how to get out, what to do. It's chaos.
If we had stayed in the other apartment, we would probably have died long ago in a concentration camp.
And you also see this sort of resilient character come out of the Jewish community.
And it was just a continuous sense of fear and yet expectation to live through it and to get out and do something better with my life.
My mother left Vienna when she was in her teens. She has lovely memories of a time that doesn't exist anymore.
This idea of driven by fear, motivated by hope, that is the essence of this whole story.
When my father was 19 years old and studying art, he copied a painting by Van Dyck, and it is a painting of Samson and Delilah.
My mother's memories are shaped by that painting.
We had to create it to bring it over to America. And then we didn't know whether we would get it.
In her case, the first painting that is in her house, in her room, that had been over her crib, is for her a symbol of everything that was wonderful in that world.
I've never lived without it.
It's part of who you are. It's part of your being.
The connection not just to that world, but to her father, who was the painter. Her father, who was the resilient one who tutored her to be as resilient as she still is in her 90s, talking about all of this.
All I know is that there's no sense in being bitter about anything. And we just have to be grateful for everything we have.